All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. What to do when your wife and kids make you mad. So, if you're like me, this can happen quite a bit. But I feel like this inner child work I've been doing is helping address that in a much better way than I have in the past. So, I'm going to share that with you today. So, my name is Mike Frazier, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and marriage coach. I help high achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages. So, wins from guys in the program, guys are having great conversations with their wives, feeling that connection again. Guys are helping their kids through difficult times. You know, when we are more steady and strong and stable as adults, as men, as fathers, we can do a much better job helping our kids through difficulties instead of operating from a younger, more immature child us. Guys are just feeling more solid in themselves. You know, this is what happens when you do the work of looking at your thoughts, looking at your emotions, doing some of this inner child work, and just taking care of yourself. You're going to feel better, more confident, connecting with God more, right? That's going to help you feel more confident. Guys are managing stressful moments on vacation. We're kind of in summer vacation time here. So guys are getting through that, you know, managing their own emotions, seeing, you know, when their wife is stressed or their kids are fighting, you know, managing that better. For me, doing this continued inner child work has just been really good, really powerful. I'm feeling these things too, more solid, more grounded. I've also been able to spend time with a lot of friends. 3 different times this week, I got to spend time with good friends, so that's made a big difference too. So definitely recommend that. You know, make sure you're connecting with your own social network of other guy friends that are good for you and a good influence. So here's some good things that I learned this week. So, you know, we've been in these separate places for, not very long. It's coming up on a week. And man, like sometimes when things were bad and I was getting frustrated with my marriage, I would think, man, it probably would be easier to just get divorced. I could find somebody else that was more caring or whatever, right? But man, I'm telling you, like, I have a lot more empathy now for the guys that are going through separation, that are going through divorce, that don't get to see their kids every day, that don't get to see their wife. It's not that fun. It's not great. It's kind of sad. It's kind of lonely. And, you know, to think about doing this, you know, half of the time, it's not something that I would want to do. So it's kind of woken me up to the fantasy of what I thought maybe a divorce would look like too. Kind of a little bit of the reality has been good. You know, to see that's really not what I want. It's not the magical thing that sometimes in my mind I had created. And you know, even though I've worked with guys that have been through this and have told me very clearly that it's not fun, you know, experiencing it something different. I took my remote control cars out to a new park, which was really fun. Good part for my younger me is, you know, we kind of decided to do that together and drove it around and jumped it off stuff, ran it over stuff, smashed into things, super fun. If remote control cars are something you're interested in, the one I got was called a Traxxas Mini Max. Super durable, fun car to drive, fast. So that's been really fun. A lot of times when I go, guys in the park, they get excited, right? And they ask me about it, and they think it's cool that I'm doing that. A lot of times I'll let guys drive it too, and they love it. But yeah, I think that's because a lot of us, you know, we still want to play, and maybe we don't do that as much. So getting some time in for play for yourself, go do that. The other thing I've been working on a lot is giving those younger me's that time off, saying, hey, look, like, I've got this. You don't have to worry about dealing with my son. You don't have to worry about dealing with my wife. Like, I'm going to do that. I'm the adult. You guys go play. I've got this, right? Stepping more into that protector role, even protecting myself, right? Letting that little me relax. Also reminding myself, hey, like, protector, like, I don't need you to protect me from my wife and my kids. They're not dangerous to me, even though sometimes maybe they do things that might be hurtful, which of course they're going to do, and I'm going to do that to them sometimes. But they're not dangerous to me. And just remind them, hey, like, you don't need to protect me from these guys. They're not dangerous. Okay. And also just trying to figure out, okay, like, how do I integrate that good protector energy though into the big protector? Because sometimes it is going to be important to protect myself, my family. I shared that experience with this guy, you know, protecting hopefully his wife or girlfriend from this guy. Good stuff. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. So a little moment for reflection this week. So my son, we had a nice dinner together. My second son made dinner for everybody at the park. It was super nice, beautiful night. great time together with family. So as we're leaving, my oldest son says bye to everybody, but he doesn't say bye to me. Okay, that is what happened. That's a situation. That's factual. Although, really, if I talk to him later, a lot of times he'll say like, "I did say it," but he says it like so quiet nobody can hear. That's kind of like a little trick he does, and maybe he did something like that. But anyway, when he did this, so I was up on the like playground with my two youngest boys. He was walking away, so I said bye to him. He didn't say bye back. So I noticed my own little kids coming up, like getting mad. That's not fair, right? That's mean. He's being mean, wanting to do something or be sad or hurt, right? So I was feeling hurt and angry and really like too much, overboard. That's how I know, okay, this is little me coming up and operating, trying to protect me, trying to protect younger me. Okay. So I was able to recognize it, kind of let them know, okay, guys, yeah, it's not your job. This is just something that's going on. You guys don't need to take care of it. But realize it was kind of hard to let them go, and that protector was still there, and I was still feeling angry because like adult me was hurt by that. That is hurtful if someone you love and you want to be close to doesn't seem to acknowledge you're there or say goodbye. Yeah, that's hurtful, right? And look, like it's okay. Like it's okay to be hurt. Yeah, that was hurtful. When I don't have that connection that I want with my wife or my kids, that is hurtful. Okay, to adult me and to younger me's. But younger me's, you guys can take a step back, right? You don't need to take care of this. I've got it. Okay, adult me, yeah, that is hurtful. It's a reminder that it's not quite where I want to be with my relationship with my son and with my kids, right? And when I can do that, right, and get into adult me and recognize it is hurtful, when I recognize that pain, even as I'm doing it right now, almost immediately I can start thinking more from his perspective. Well, look, like maybe he did say bye. Also, this probably isn't that big a deal. And, kind of I'll get into this analogy, but okay, so yeah, he's a little bit more comfortable with other people. Why? Well, if we're looking at a relationship as kind of like a garden or like a field of corn, let's say, I've made that ground rocky by, things I've done, by getting angry a lot, by kind of not reaching out very much. So that field's been kind of neglected for a long time. And so, yeah, probably makes sense that he doesn't feel as close to me because, yeah, I haven't planted more. I haven't like put a lot of like bad things down lately, but I also haven't done a lot to create good connection either. And so, that's on me. I'm the adult, right? When little me's are around, they think he should change, right? Because, in my mind, little me's are actually younger than him, so he should be nice, right? But the reality is he's the kid and I'm the adult. He's my son, right? And so I need to be behaving in a way that is taking care of him like I would take care of younger me's, right? So if a younger me didn't say bye, probably what I do is like go later, see what's going on, see what's wrong, check things out. So I could still do that, right? And I probably will do that, coming up here and just kind of check in, see how he's doing. He might not share with me, but that's okay, right? That's part of this like planting seeds process. So, but yeah, so the question is like, when I'm hurt, what should I do? So like in this situation, my son doesn't say goodbye. What should I do? Okay, should I try to make him change? That's definitely the approach that I took for a long time. I need to make him change. I need to make him start saying goodbye to me, right? So what does that create? It creates people wanting to have more distance from me, not less, right? So what's my other option? Okay, manage my own emotions and looking at it in a new way, right? That's a lot better. So went through ChatGPT like I like to do lately and got some help on it. And yeah, this analogy really helped me of like, okay, yeah, he's more comfortable with my wife. He's more comfortable with my other kids. Why? Because again, like that, look at it as like I'll just use a field of corn, right? Like I have put a lot more rocks in my field than anybody else has, as far as that relationship goes. And so, yeah, makes sense. He's going to feel more comfortable with them. So what's the work now? The work now is kind of removing some of those rocks, so apologizing, taking ownership, and then planting good seeds, inviting connection, not trying to force connection, inviting connection in a good way. And then giving it time to grow. That's the other thing that I kind of do a lot is like not give it time to grow. So I'll be like, oh, like we did something good, so we should be fine now. Everything should be fine now. No, like that was just kind of planting a good seed and it took a little bit of root. And then if I get mad that it's not growing fast enough, it's kind of like pulling that seed out, and then it doesn't grow anymore, right? Oh, look, there's a couple roots, but now, okay, you've kind of undone that progress. So that's what that impatience does with these kind of trying to make things go faster than they can. So it's still an adult, right? Part of my job is giving correction as it's appropriate. So I get to choose, okay, is this something I really want to make a big deal of or not, right? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Something I need to ponder on as an adult. By a big deal, I just mean like addressing it, okay? But also choosing, well, maybe this is something I just let go. Maybe he just was having a bad day. Maybe he did say goodbye. And really, he did answer some questions that I had as we were together, and that was fine. That was good. Also, like this is something ChatGPT pointed out, realizing that one moment doesn't define the entire relationship. Okay, so him just not saying goodbye doesn't mean everything's lost, right? So I can definitely go there in my mind, like, oh, no, he doesn't care. It's never going to get better, right? And that's sad. It's scary for me to think that. And then, not pulling up the CCI score. Oh, like, are we okay? Or it's terrible, right? Not letting so much ride on one moment, but just saying, okay, like that happened. Yeah, was it hurtful? Yeah. Do I want to address it or not? I might or I might not. I still don't know for sure. Next time I see him, probably the more wise thing would just be to invite connection in another way with him. Okay. So instead of being like, how are things? Are we good? Or like, that was hurtful. You did that, just instead, I think for right now, probably the wiser thing to do is just continue to plant some good seeds and not make a big deal out of it. So in summary, right, it is hurtful for sure to adult and younger yous when people you love create that distance. They don't say goodbye. They seem to criticize you, whatever, right? So it is hurtful to older you. It is hurtful for younger you. So what you've got to do, though, is separate out that younger you part, okay, and say, okay, hey, younger yous, I know that was hurtful. I'm going to take care of you as adult me. Go play. We'll talk about this later. We'll go drive remote control cars. We'll do whatever. We'll get some McDonald's. I did that last night. Take care of them. I like picturing hugging those younger me's. That's helped a lot. So you take care of them. You let them know, okay, that's not your job. And then adult you're like, okay, yeah, that is hurtful. It kind of reminds me I don't have the connection that I want right now, or this moment was a moment of disconnection. Sure, that's hurtful. So now you get to decide from an adult frame of mind instead of a kid frame of mind. Okay, what do I do here? Do I let it go? Do I address this in a calm, inviting way? What's gonna make sense? All right. So you plant good seeds, and then you don't check on them every time, and then you don't put too much weight on every little interaction. You just say, okay, like that was one interaction, but also let's look at the good parts. Yeah, we did have some conversation through dinner. That's great. Planted some good seeds there. Probably wisest. Let's let this one go and just keep on creating moments of connection with him. I think that's what I'm going to do. Right. I think that's how I want to approach it. Right. So pray for help with that too. Right. Have God help you guide these kind of things. I feel like doing this podcast kind of like prayerful experience. I try to involve that kind of spiritual component to it. So it's work, right? It's work. And so if you feel like you're getting those extreme reactions, like beyond what kind of makes sense, like I was getting really mad they didn't say goodbye. Probably younger me operating, right? And probably younger you operating if you're finding yourself having an overly strong emotional reaction. So try to take care of that younger you, and then as adult you recognize, that does hurt. And then decide what you want to do about it, right? From an adult standpoint. So if you want to do this work with us, it is difficult work, but the kind of work that creates great relationships with yourself, with God, with your wife, with your kids, can break old patterns, right? Because like the pattern of a kid feeling like they have to take care of their parents' emotions is something that I felt, but it's something I don't want to continue. And I've done some damage with that already, and I have time to repair it, and that's the good news. And I believe that, right? I believe things can get better. I just have to keep planting good seeds, right? And letting them grow, not checking on them. So I can do it. As adult me. Kid me, that's not their job. I need to take care of them, let them do it. Adult me can't do that. So you want to do this work together? Let's go. Visit strongmen.io, join our email list. You can join the program at the end of the month, so that's coming up. Or if you want to do a more intensive program for guys making about $250K or more a year, come join us. We do daily work in there, and it's more intensive. We'll meet and see if it's a good fit. So you can fill out an application if that's you. All right, stay strong in God, men. Visit strongmen.io. We'll see you next episode.